Hey, man.
Hey, Lee,
Hey.
how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Alright.
hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. I just gotta doing this in the living room today because
Yep.
I didn't want to. My room's a fucking wreck. Um, hey, thanks for doing these. It was
Yeah.
one way to force me to do a My Legion Adventure episode or episodes because I just don't have as much time to record shit.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no.
But
Work sucks.
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. Well, I've been on the phone on and off all day.
Yeah.
And this also not kills. I finish Archive 10.
Nice.
So these are pretty good reprints too in here.
Ross, by the way, your camera's frozen real quick.
Oh shit! Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, as long as you're good with that.
Hold on, let me.
Yep.
Turn it off. Turn it back on.
Yep.
There we go. Nope.
Yep.
Why
Oh, wait.
It's gonna be in and out. It was like that.
That's fine.
It's been like that for a while.
But
All
yeah,
right.
no, okay. So this finishes Archive 10, and then there was what, 13 of those, 14 of those
13,
officially.
13, and then the next four hardcovers literally would be 14, 15, 16, 17.
Gotcha.
Great Darkness Saga would be 14, 15, 16, 17, would be 18, and the Curse would be 19.
So, okay, so like that's 5 covers like 100 issues. Damn.
What? What?
5 archives covers 100, like, because this is 200 and like Great Darkness is almost 300, right?
No, Great Darkness is about the size of one of these page
Okay.
counts. Yeah, it's not much bigger. It's actually probably a little thinner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit thinner. It's about the same thickness as the Golden Age.
Okay. That's good. You've talked about that on Starman, right?
A little bit. I'm going to cover it on Starman just to cover it. Because every time Billy, say a lot of so like Billy has asked, like Martin doesn't like any of these all of these dark and gritty alternate ones. They really bug
Right.
him. He's definitely a 50s Silver Age kid.
Yep.
Yeah. But so yeah, maybe Sean and them. But I like it. I think it is what made me. In one reason, when someone said read Starman, it was because I had read that. And someone had said the guy that wrote Starman. I went, well, and then he began Justice Society was just him and Goyer for what, the first 6-8 issues?
I thought it was like the first, it's the first 2 trades. So that's
Oh, did they do it for a year? That'd be about a year. That'd be
about a year. So that sounds about right. Then Johns takes over for like the next decade. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can't tell this. It's seamless too.
It really is.
It is absolutely seamless, and that is because they write the same way. I think Johns is more consistently good than Robinson is. I think Robinson has some failures.
He does. Cry for Justice.
I'm going to reread that again. I read it in issues, and it was really fucking hard because I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Focus on a character for more than an issue. Maybe you have too many diverse characters that a lot of us don't know.
Right.
But I liked the lineup. When I heard the lineup, Congorilla and Disco Starman and Super, it was like fuck yeah.
Yeah, and even I missed when he took over like the main Justice League title, where it was like Mon-El was there for. I'm like, I kind of would go back and check that out.
I am too. That's a really weird era of DC where they just
it is.
They're kind of
They
going.
have no idea.
Okay, we have written ourselves into some fucking corners. We have, I think, is it Infinite Crisis that fixes all that? Kind of scrubs the universe of
no,
all the
that's
crisis.
like almost. I want to say it's almost a New 52, just right on the cusp, I think.
No, I know it. It's 0 Hour. A lot of that shit got fixed in 0 Hour, or put into place. Like Hawkman's, the way Hawkman worked was definitely. Did it reset? No, they just say they can't, because I like the post-crisis explanation and how Johns did it was, was no. The Space Carter Hall is just another guy. He's another Hawkman, and he just appeared. The Hawkman in Justice League and Justice Society, that's Carter Hall.
Yep.
And I like that. I really like that. That Hawkman he's a staple of both of the teams.
again, it's just a clear example of like, yeah, editorial has never known what they're doing.
Well, no,
so it's not.
yeah, they have good. See, I think it is overall editorial. Like Shooter did it for about 5 years. He could control everything as editor in chief. I think the model I think DC had a good model. They had certain editors doing certain books, which they've always done, but they had some really good. I mean, Jim Carlin, as much of a fucking asshole as he is, he's a fucking great editor.
Right.
But Time Brief Point, it's like that. He'd been the editor of the Avengers for 20, almost 30 years.
Man.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good comics in there, and he's an editor who knows when to get involved and when to get out of the way. He tended to hire people to get that he just would. I'm going to get out of your way because I've hired you to do a Jonathan Hickman Avengers story.
Right.
So do it, and I'll give you notes when I get input from sale. The business shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see what he does with the X-Men. I'm still not going to read it. I mean, I'm so far behind on X-Men. It's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to pick up in the Omnis and pick up like with Omni 5 and go from there, because that's about where I pieced out. It was
Yeah, my buddy JR is super bummed because he is like the Krakoan thing is like the most he's been enthused with this with. Like,
it's gonna go down.
Shit.
I really want to read it. I do really want to read it, but it's gonna be a chore. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah. And just one of the things he was telling me about Beast, it's like as I'm reading through this era of Avengers, I'm going like, man, they should have kept him in an Avenger.
Who you telling? I fucking hate what they did to him in X-Men. Fucking hate it. Tons of it is terrible. Some of it is good. Him being a super scientist. Him going well, no, I don't see him as a villain. I just know he becomes a freedom fighter. He really is he is tired of losing.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, every time we get close, they come for us.
Right.
And he's a rational man. There has to be a limit. I get that. But you have to give it, that has to be earned. Like, kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Have it. If you weren't hinting at it, but were they hinting at it? Because he was in was he in X-Force or X-Factor? He was in X-Force is where they discovered it. Because he was leading X-Force.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't like that at all. He is supposed to be. They darkened him up and they made him somber. And the reason he wasn't in the reboot was one they were only going to have Cyclops because he was the only interesting character. Mm-hmm. People say he's not interesting. I said he's way more interesting than any of the others.
Yeah. Angel does nothing for me.
Bobby never did shit for me either.
No.
I like Bobby as a character. Warren, I did.
Right.
Warren was always written to be a bit of an asshole, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would like to read it, but I was buying it when it first came out. It was just a lot. It was a lot to read, and Hickman put shit in order. And then, but see, I really kind of want to, I've heard a lot of great things about once he left and they brought in these other creators that things kind of moved at it. Because Hickman has a certain pace.
Yep. And I think he said 7-year plan. I'm like, dude, never say going into any run, this is comics, books, movies, TV, whatever. You're
going to be out. You're going to be out in like 10%.
Yeah.
You're not even going to make 10% of the time. So.
Yeah.
But it's I'm looking. He's doing Avengers versus Aliens and Predators.
Oh yeah, I might check that out.
It's Ribic. It's Ribic art. It'll be pretty.
Oh okay.
And it's it's this lineup, which I just read Blood Hunt. Was it 3?
Yeah.
He's good as shit. It's an event I like. I wish I was. I don't think I want all the issues, but I'm going to have all the Avenger issues, and it's just like I'm reading. It's an extra couple Avenger issues. The main people are in Blood Hunt and Cap's new squad, which is such a great squad.
I saw that. I'm like, it's like, they're trying to get Ross back into it.
It was like, oh yes, Hazmat, yes, bring in new ones. And Hercules and Cap, they're great together. Kate Bishop, but they're not what I really like the announcement for Avengers. What is it? Avengers Assemble?
Assemble, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, oh my God. Lightning's in it. Those obscure ones that I like, it's like, why aren't you using them? It's been 10 years. It's like the Black Knight thing. be a kind of side character and be an Avenger for a really short time because no one knows what to do, and then 10 or 15 years later just throw the character into the book and make him a mainstay. Because Black Knight was in the book for what, 7 years, 6, 7 years?
Yeah, no, and like I like Monica Rambeau. I first read him in Under Siege, and it's like I kind of like this guy too.
Yeah. They're
for as much of a, why is this guy? Okay, sure, why not? Go with it.
Oh man, and they did some. Who was writing it? It was Paul Cornell who writes Doctor Who stuff. He did that M16. And it's him, Peter Wisdom, the Muslim, the Islamic. British doctor who has a superpower.
Okay.
Captain Britain.
M16, you said.
Yeah. Is it M6? MI6.
MI6.
Captain Britain and MI6. Also, get that. There's that Peter Wisdom trade, which is pretty good too, and that's I think Paul Cornell, too.
Okay, I like Paul Cornell. I've read a lot. Like I've read some of his Doctor Who stuff. I really enjoy it.
Oh, one of his novel was the Tennant one where he's made human.
Where it's a Seventh Doctor one originally, yeah.
Yeah. It was originally a Seventh Doctor one, and it wasn't a fob watch; it was a cricket ball.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's probably one of my favorite Doctor Who stories. Sometimes, whenever I get to that one, it's like shit. I'm gonna fucking cry, you fuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got to rewatch last night's again because I got to talk about it tomorrow, and it was so fucking good.
Okay, don't like I said, I'm watching with my mom, and we're a couple episodes behind. So
it's there. I like this season a great deal. It's changing types of stories, and it was another big chase, and it changed, and it was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think for both of us, neither of us really like space babies, and that kind of hurt us a little bit. So
yeah, it's been really good. Last week's, which really felt like a 2005 episode, it was fine.
That's not a bad thing.
No, but I didn't think of it last week when me and the guys talked was, that's now a kind of type of story. What's early RTD? Let's do an early RTD Moffat kind of era storytelling.
Right. Okay, this might be controversial for you, Ross, because like the Moffat episode reminded me of like Moffat is at his best when there's someone above him or to work with him who can smack him on the nose.
No one does that. He's never done. No one does that. Davies does not read his scripts until he hears it at the table read.
Okay.
That is no. The reason, Davies does not edit Moffat ever.
Okay.
Never. It's really weird. His wife may, because everything else he makes with his wife and Mark Gatiss.
Right, because like Sherlock, I always felt like Gatiss could kind of smack him on the nose.
Gatiss was the editor in that. He was a bigger showrunner than Moffat because I don't think Moffat. No, I think Moffat's the reason. Richard Harness who was the one that wrote the third episode every year?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't like his Doctor Who's, but I like his Sherlock's.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but yeah, that was something that if you ever there's a behind the scenes book it's all made up of texts and emails between Benji Cook, who's wrote for Doctor Who magazine, but he's an entertainment writer now, and Davies, their correspondence during the last 18 months of his stay on the show.
Oh wow!
And it's just their correspondence. There's no text it's everything you're reading is what they said to one another. There's a little bit in between. Davies fills in some of the details, but like 90% of the book is just their conversations about Doctor Who, about fandom, about everything. It's a real. I could not put it down because I was like going, this guy's gonna have a fucking heart attack and die because he rewrote everyone else, but he just is like he's like with Moffat. He was like, I think he's a better writer. He writes the kind of shit better than I do. Yeah. And I mean, I think Moffat's episodes in some of those Davies seasons are the best episodes.
Right, and that's the thing is like because sometimes like I love the 11th Doctor and I really like Peter Capaldi, but there were times where that felt a little more uneven, and I don't know if that's just because he's like stretching himself further.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I think he does. Also, he was trying to do that. He was stretched in with Sherlock.
Yeah.
So he was eating up a lot of his time, and because I think my least favorite modern Doctor Who season is Capaldi's first one.
Oh, that
I
yeah,
think it
no,
is.
that
I think
one,
the middle,
yeah.
middle of it is just weak as shit. I
Hmm.
do they're
The
great.
boyfriend I could not care about.
I like the idea that there are scenes I like him in. Like when
Sure.
he turns to the doctor gives him shit because he's just a P. He keeps calling him PE, and then
Hmm.
and when he finds out the doctor's a lord of time, and he goes, "I'm just a sergeant. You're a lord," and gives him shit,
Hmm.
and it's just like, do not think you can fuck with me. I
Okay.
liked him against Capaldi. There was no chemistry between the two actors.
No.
It was. I mean, that's the problem.
Clara stayed. She was a great in her first like season or two, but stayed a little too long.
I think she did. I do, but I think she's better. I think she's great with Capaldi, especially their second season. She's
Yeah.
really that second season's great.
Much
And then
better.
the third, he ends and he plants the.
I like
Does he
Bill.
plant the ending? I don't know. I like his final one with the first Doctor.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that guy playing the Doctor.
No. Filch, I can't remember his name.
I know. But
Yeah.
it was pretty good. I've dug this season. I bought a bootleg copy of the 60th anniversary specials Blu-ray for $8 from China because we're not
Yeah.
getting it on.
Oh,
We're
yeah?
not getting it in physical media in this country.
Aye.
No, it's Disney. Disney's doing. I think. Hold on a second. I'm glad this is
Yep.
coming out. Hey, Steve. I don't know because they've been. I don't know. Maybe they took a break. Have them check inside Telepage. Just knock and talk to them. Talk to Denise. That's who I've been dealing with, one of the agents. But yeah. So yeah, that'd be fine. It'll be safe. And then if I have to have my guys call CTSI back, but they may be up at the main campus working on 9 and 10 and waiting for so have Reggie go in and check with Denise, and then I'll call her too in a minute. All right. All right. Jesus Christ. The overhead paging system's not working.
Oh, Jesus.
And security guard didn't know how to use his keys to get into the telephone closet, so we spent an hour and a half trying to get into a telephone closet he had the key for. I fucking hate sick. My God, it just drives me nuts. Yeah, but I think that this season is so good. It's just so good. It's so good. I mean, I've like the middle three, the ones we did, the one before the Moffat, the one after the the ones that shit. The landmine.
Yeah, Landmine was Moffat, and I think that was the last one I saw. Like I said,
And then there was
yeah.
The next one was a different thing. The three of them the three in a row, starting with that one, were like, this is a totally different show than you've ever made. What the fuck are you doing? Because I feel triggered a little bit. The dot in the bubble seemed from all the trailers as something light and airy, and it is fucking not.
Okay.
Yeah, really, the ending made me go, wow. What the fuck? And I mean that more in not in a like tricky way, and like, oh, we're going to talk about this.
Okay.
And all of them, you're talking about something.
Sorry, I was looking at the episode list real quick.
But the landmine one has some great lines that I really like. I liked Moffat's idea of the church as an army, and I like it in the Stones of the two-part Angel one.
Yep.
Ian Glenn has that great line when the doctor's like, he doesn't like him because he's a soldier or a priest. And then they're down to just the last couple of them, and the Weeping Angel's got his neck around the general or the bishop, whatever his rank is. And the doctor then the doctor says, I would have liked to have known you better. And he goes, you know me at my best. And then he says, turn around. And then you hear the. But there's something in the Moffat one where when she goes, when has the church been an army? And he goes, you live in a blip. And that one sentence just really says it. When people say these crazy religious nuts and all this shit, it is liberal democracy's only really existed for the last 200 years.
Yeah.
And it's starting to die an ugly death. So, No, it was real. I like that one. And the woman,
Okay.
and the woman who played the soldier who survives, the
Mhm.
Indian, she's the new companion next year.
Oh, nice,
But
nice.
not as that character. So I think
Sure.
it's a free management thing where they had her and they were like, fuck, we're still
So,
trying to cast the other one. I said just hire for both. Jesus Christ.
so just because you probably know, real quick, and I don't want to take up more of your time, but like, so it was the Ruby. Was she just not working it? Was it scheduling, story,
No,
or
I don't. I don't know because
Okay.
the episode last night, which is the penultimate episode, it's part one of the two-part finale. Is
It's only 8 episodes,
well,
correct?
but
Okay,
you got
go
to
on.
think they did three with ten,
The
three and
Christmas,
ten,
the
and the Christmas, so they did 12.
sure,
And
sure.
they didn't stop, and they went right into season 2. So I think they're
Okay,
going to
yeah,
do season 2, maybe longer. But they might go 8 or 9. I think they're finding on streaming 8 or 9 makes you your money back, plus some.
sure.
You
Okay,
make more profit on it because you're just going to make the same profit on 12. You're really not going to make any more money. In their brain probably, but
sure.
but you find out more. There's a lot of big. It's the big set. It's the big action movie part. What Davies
Okay.
likes to do, and normally
Oh
I
yeah.
fucking hate set time. Sometimes I'll watch one of his two-part finales and love it, and I'll watch it like a year later and I go, this is such dribble.
Mhm.
Because he just misses. He tries to cram too much shit in it. So,
Yeah.
but this was a great two-parter, and there's a child actor who. He's in a sitcom. He's a little person.
Okay.
He's playing a 13-year-old super genius who is the scientific advisor, and he's got a little Segway to get around on. Because he's
Okay.
got some. I don't know if he has trouble walking, but he walks like a very little person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but he's in a sitcom with this comic over there, like where they play a mother and son, and his mother's just this worst piece of white trash. She loves him and she's trying hard, but this like 8-year-old and the drunken uncle are just like going, God, she's a fucking idiot. But he's really great in it. There are a bunch. The guest cast is great. There's a flip. Kate has a lot more to do. She's still just walking around being stern. But
Right.
she's a little more huggy.
Sure.
Melanie gets a lot to do in this. It's
Oh
action
wow.
Mel. It's awesome.
Okay.
And
Wow.
we get the cliffhanger is the greatest cliffhanger I think in Doctor Who history. I think it beats. It may have beaten Derek Jacobi being the master.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right.
So I'm just leaving it there. Well, let's get to it. We're going to do, what I want to do is do the wedding as a single one. It'll be a short episode. Because you'll understand when I start talking about something in it. And I'm doing the two, even though they have 4 stories. They're both real short stories.
Yeah.
I forgot that both of these had 2 stories in it.
Yeah, no, I do like that you brought me on for to cover both of my 2 favorite Legionnaires in these, so that makes me
That's
happy.
why I did it. Bouncing Boy and Wildfire.
Wow. Yep.
And these are some of the first Legion comics I read. 197 was the first
Yeah.
one, so I'm surprised I liked Old Legion. I'm surprised this being my touchstone. Levitz and Giffen, man, kind of just erased everything. As I read it, I was like, no. Those were nice building blocks, but it's on all. But that's it. That's it. Era comics. I think
It's a building. It's a step ladder.
Oh yeah, but I think comics had made a change after Crisis. I think the '80s were good for comics. The '90s were. And I think my problem with '90s comics is, as talented as the Image guys are, and they are
They're not
most talented
writers.
artists. The artists, probably some of the most talented of their generation. Eric Larson and I think Valentino are the only two know how to write a fucking comic book. Todd McFarlane. McFarlane's not bad, but he also knew when to step away, and he picked good replacements.
And McFarlane's also a good businessman, I think,
Well,
at this
and they're
point.
all still on the board.
Really?
Kirkman is now publisher. They've
Okay.
all had different jobs. Like chief financial officer is Eric Larson. That company is run by those creators. And I think they made the deal with Johns is because some of those guys can now go, shit, I've already done this for 10 years. Someone else needs to come in and be in charge.
Yeah, yeah. Which I have enjoyed. Again, well, I know we need to get to the show, but it's like I have really actually enjoyed the Ghost Machine stuff, and I'm really liked what we got with the latest Geiger issue.
I haven't finished reading it yet. I got it I got it
Okay.
yesterday. I also paid for my ROM, Nabusted 2.
Oh, yep, that's. God, I'm buying so many.
I know. I ordered way too many this week. I get Secret 6 tomorrow or Monday. That I should have tomorrow. I got Hickman FF Volume 2 for $40.
Nice.
It's red. It's a little beat up, but it's got its touch. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna beat it up.
I mean, as long as like the pages aren't falling out.
No. I think the worst used one I got is my FF1. It has nicotine stains on it. It's yellow. It's a little beat up. It's not a little cigarette-y. And what's the other one I got? Oh, and one hasn't shipped, but I ordered it from in stock trades, because it's over 60, so there's no shipping. So ultimately, it's about $6 cheaper than cheap graphic novels. But since what I want to do is like I got to let some pay off. I do this pay in 4 in PayPal. I want to get it down to smaller. But when I pre-order some of them, like I'm going to pre-order FF Volume 5. That's going to be giant. That's a fat one.
Okay. Because that's after Kirby.
It's like the first 40 issues after Kirby.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really all of Roy.
Okay.
It's pretty much all of Roy. I think that's why it's probably fat. It's probably mostly.
Yeah.
And Jerry
Let's just
Conway.
get this all done.
Yeah. And then. Yeah, counting the ROM, I've got 5 that'll have on my shelf by the end of next week. And then on the 25th, I'm gonna buy the Grunwald cap, but I'm gonna wait for it to come out and get it from in stock.
Yep.
Because I want to save some money, and I get New Warriors 3. And then I just have some trades in a hardcover. They're putting out the Busick Superman in hardcover form.
Ooh.
Yeah, what gets me is they did a deluxe one of Camelot, and now they're just starting, and I think they're standard size. So I'm going to have the Camelot stuff twice. I don't know. I hope the Camelot shit is in between regular ones.
Mm-hmm.
But
so,
no.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Camelot in between regular.
Yeah, like they're going to have to do with Superman, because the triangle one doesn't jive right up. It butts up against Superman in Exile, but there's this small gap between Death of Superman. So they're going to either do that, or they'll do a non-event one and double dip and divide it in half. I don't know. It'd be stupid. Just do a deluxe.
One of these days, I'm really gonna have to sit down and think what's the more best way to do my post-crisis Superman collect.
You're pretty fucked. The way you're doing it, by buying the issues, is pretty much the only way to make it complete. Because that era of Superman is under-reprinted. Under. It's like, look how many years it took for Man of Steel hardcovers to come out.
Yeah. True.
Sorry.
I don't know. Like, just looking at my my find list, like so much stuff gets bounced around, and like how hard I'm looking for it.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah. It's like I at least know I will be able to find post-crisis Superman comics compared to some other shit on my list.
Oh no, we were talking about that yesterday. Tanner and Pat, it's like, yeah, you get a lot of that shit in quarter boxes places. Like, really, it's one of the best eras of Superman.
Yeah, but it also.
It's also there's a lot.
There's a lot of it, and I don't know. Like, I kind of almost got myself banned from a local used bookstore because they were asking $40 for a random Green Lantern Corps issue from the late '80s. I'm going like, are you high as fuck? Yeah. But
Pat's having a hard time. Back issue market's crazy. He's selling shit like a third of what he was 2 years ago. So that's the nature of the fucking business. So. All right. Well, hey, let's get started. What I'm going to do is I want to Oh, shit. I'm going to write this shit down. What the fuck?
It's My Legion Adventure 82. I checked for you.
Thank you, because I did not check. Hold on.
I got you.
I got to get a piece of paper. Hold on. I got to write these times down.
Let me pee real quick. Sam. Okay. Ugh. Allergies have been fucking killing me this week.
All right, so it was 82?
Yep. Number 200 will be 82.
And 83, so... 031. All right, I just know where this is, basically near where this is going to start. Because I'm going to have to cut it up. All right, I got my book, pen. Mike's Amazing World is open.
Yep, got that up too for myself.
All right. Oh, fuck, microphone's on the wrong side. All right. Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up. Fuckity fuck. All right. Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, My Legion Adventure, episode 82. This is a special one because we've all been invited to a wedding. It's the wedding of Bouncing Boy and Duo Damsel, and I think it's a very important comic in Legion lore, and we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to have my first guest on My Legion Adventure, which is Kirby. Thank you for coming on, Kirby.
Thank you, Rush, for cordially inviting me for this episode.
I knew you would want to because, one, we both have a love of this era. Bouncing Boy is one of your favorite Legionnaires.
Yep, and this issue's a good example of why.
Yeah, it is. It's why he's always been written. You know, I think back because I've been I've slowed down on the reread, but of all of the Legionnaires, I think he is the best consistently written because he's always a nice guy. He's a little doofier at the beginning, but he's everyman. And he stays that way, and I think everybody really writes him that way. And he's different. He's a little more goofy in the Atlantic, in the reboot. He's a little more like Chuck Payne is at the beginning. He's a little softer of not that Chuck ever gets dark, but Chuck is every man, and he turns into every dad.
Yes.
At the end, later, and it's all a natural progression.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and we're going to talk about it when we talk about the issue, and we're only going to cover the one issue, folks, for this one, because I'll probably gab about it. But well, let's look at Mike's Amazing World and see what the pertinent data for this issue. This is Superboy 200. It was on sale October 25th, 1973. 3 days before my 9th birthday. So. Oh, okay. It was cover dated February of 74. It is called The Legion Bride of Starfinger. It is written by Cary Bates. Art by Dave Cockrum. It has only been reprinted twice in Legion Archives 10, which is how I'm reading it, and Showcase Presents Legion of Superheroes Volume 5. That is really sad.
It really is.
That is insane. A hardcover and a black and white. Yep. That's it. And they've, they need to start doing they need to do some reprinting of this stuff. They should need to do probably a volume 4 and 5 of Legion Omni.
Yeah, I think they actually are reprinting this in an upcut. Like DC's finally doing like an epic style.
This is one of their first books, isn't it? Yeah.
Like this specifically.
Oh, that's cool.
That makes me very happy. So kids will finally be able to get to read this.
Cockrum, and they'll fall in love because his art holds up through the.
Oh my god! Well, we'll be gushing about this for this episode next. So
the roll call is everybody. It is true. I'm not reading everybody who's in this damn comic because the list of people at the wedding is incredible, including a couple odd ones. Is he not listed? He's not listed in here. He is not. Martian Manhunter is not on the guest list.
Yeah,
well, also they don't
DC
have. They also don't
have
the John
Tars.
Yeah. Okay, I'm there. Yeah. So, there is the synopsis of this one is we have our first Legion wedding and Starfinger's a plot device. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just to tell the story, a wedding episode issue. But while we go through it, we'll talk about it. Who did the cover on this one? I did not look. It is probably someone dull. Does this even give the cover artist?
I not on Mike's Amazing World, and
I might be Bob Brown.
Okay, and I don't think this is on him, but I wish they had chosen another color besides green, because it just makes it look like a dull forest. And if you made it red like Mars or something, and given a space background behind Starfinger, this could have been a really cool looking cover.
Some of these covers in this era are great, and some of them are just awful. Because 197, when all the Legionnaires, the Nick Cardy cover,
with Timberwolf fighting them, that's an awesome cover.
Yeah. But that's the only thing you really needed was the banner, because that's all you could see on the comic rack. So Legion, Superboy and the Legion was not a big seller. But the art in this is just, let's just stop, and let's just start with Cockrum, because I'm going to gush every episode about Cockrum. This is some of his best stuff, I mean, that he ever did. He's inking himself. He has another inker in an upcoming issue that I didn't realize that they had inked him. And he is the best. I don't know. He gets it. He gets aliens. He gets her wedding dress. He gets everything right. So it starts with, it's got the splash page. It's Bouncing Boy is, in his space wedding tuxedo. But it looks like every formal suit that Cockrum does in this era with the,
Hey, but let's have high collars and capes be back into our formal wear.
But her dress is just the fluidity that he puts on it, like the arm tails, the things that he'll do with Storm and with other characters. And Bouncing Boys, Superboy's flying off with Duo Damsel saying, "I must, Bouncing Boy. If I do not bring her together with her other self, both Duo Damsels will die." And as Bouncing Boy says, "Don't do it, Superboy. My half of Dual Damsel is my bride-to-be. You can't turn her over to the villainous Starfinger." Starfinger is a villain that is never very good. He always is a plot device. No. I think the Levitt's... is it Levitt?
L082?
No, I'm thinking Levitt's... isn't he in an issue, like one of Pat... Isn't he the bad guy in one of Pat... No, that's Dr. Regulus. Dr. Regulus is that's what I'm thinking of.
So I just want to say this real quick. Dave Cockrum did some amazing redesigns of this era. He couldn't have given Starfinger a design that doesn't make him look super dopey.
Yeah, he looks like a dildo. I mean, I'm just gonna say.
He really does. I'm sorry.
Especially his spaceship. I was looking at it going.
We're gonna get there.
Is his spaceship as shaped as him? What a dick! And it looks a little like a dick. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But also you notice he doesn't do anything to Chuck's costume.
No, but it's still the best Chuck has ever looked.
Oh, it is. It is. He is. Chuck grows in a character after this, after they leave and they become they only come in and out. But Chuck is always like the heart. He's still the heart of the Legion. He's this is what we were talking about before we got on. It's just. He is a fully formed character. He's always been this guy. And him marrying Dual Damsel, who is a better... I think she is one of the female characters that... she's still written like a female character in the 50s and 60s, but she's always been... Like Saturn Girl, she was always one of the go-to ones, like Phantom. Phantom Girl is in certain spots. But she's so good in this... Cary Bates loves her, and you can tell, because he uses her really well. I'm not a Cary Bates fan, but I do like his Legion.
See, I am actually a Cary Bates fan, and I think his reading some of his Legion early on for me was a part of it. And to me, he's at his worst, and this is more from his Superman. He's a warm blanket at worst for me, and at best, he's doing the Captain Atom series in the late '80s, early '90s, which that's an Omni DC needs to do. That is a really
good run of. That's a good. I read that. That was he got it. I think he got it. But I like them as a couple. And I want to ask you this because I don't remember. They've never said I love you. Cary's been having them interact more. and they've gone out. But are they a couple at this before this point?
I think they actually have
Okay.
been. Sorry, this is like I did a huge reread a year or two ago. So now, unfortunately, things have started to meld in the old mind. But one thing I think why Bouncing Boy and Duo Damsel work so well for me and why they're my favorites is they remind me a lot of Ralph and Sue, who are, again, some of my other all-time favorites in DC.
Yeah.
So, there's a clear commonality.
There's this thing when you get, I mean, with
sometimes there's two.
Married couples, if written well in comics, work really well. This marriage, it's like Lois and Clark in the Triangle era. They're spot on, and I think they're spot on in different eras. But I think that's my favorite. Ralph and Sue.
Yep. Wally and Linda.
No joke. That's what this is. So this story is about them being in love. And him going, he's lost his powers again.
At least the second or third time. Okay.
He'll lose them like one more time or two more times. But, so he decides he wants to do what's most important. So he goes to ask Dual Damsel, and we see his proposal. And it's very sweet. He's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm in love with her. I think that's the next part of my life. And it's not, I don't think it comes off as romance comic crap. I think it's like, this guy's going, if I'm going to leave here, I'm not leaving without the woman I love. And I think that might be the best thing for both of us. And she says yes. It's great. Knowing that she's going to have to leave the Legion.
Yeah, this, again, like you said, this is genuine emotion and romance. And it's one of my favorite, Legion sequences with them. Or in all of Legion, period. And I do just want to say, before we go on to the next page, is in the first panel on page 5, you see Spock in the corner. So, that amused me.
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, my God, that's cool. I've forgotten about that.
So, I was reading that last night. I'm like, oh, there's Spock.
So, he does it in front of what's the name of the damn future shit is so terrible. Metropolitan Extraterrestrial Botanical Gardens, and it's because there is an egglock bird causing trouble, and they discover that Dual Damsel is only one person. And Brainy uses a mind probe to figure out what happened. And it looks like what they see is a dragon grabbing it and then vanishing, thinking she's dead.
Like a really awesome dragon. I love that you get the texture of him with all the scales and whatnot.
Oh my God! If this was
so
a 4K
good.
one, it would just be a yellow lizard bird.
Yep.
But no, it's great. And then I'm just going to talk. Then we get ready. They're going to get married on Mars, so everybody's going in. The greatest Legion ships ever. Mm-hmm. And the second ones would be the chunky ones in Giffen Levitts that look like
Yep.
I don't know what they look like, but they were squarish.
These are very Star Trek
yeah.
ships.
And when Grell takes over the art, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to put a Star Trek bridge in this damn thing." But it's some great stuff. That overhead shot of the 3 cruisers, them lifting off. We get to see a little bit of the out and then fly to where Nick's Olympica is now, it's a resort around a volcano. Not really the best idea.
Nope. And before they leave, Mon-El and Shadowlass are talking of we'll get married someday, and we have a mysterious energy being floating behind them.
Yeah.
Love that Bronze Age plot device.
Oh yeah, and it's talking to itself. It's great. It's like the thing that makes everybody hate everybody in Day of the Dove in Star Trek. It's a tinfoil shot through a camera with a little coloring on it. But then we get to see it, and that's a great shot of them flying, the 3 cruisers flying over the resort. I mean, it's just like, I don't think I've seen this. I think there's a jump in his game with this one, art wise.
Because he know like it. I don't know if like the anniversary issue had really kind of taken off yet. Like this does say Gala 200th, but it's still not like
200, 100, yeah, because 100s were. I mean, this was probably one of the early 200s. There weren't many at that point, so yeah. But I think they upped their game. I think it's very cinematic. That what it reminds me of is some of this stuff is it'd be bigger, but I could see Brian Hitch laying it out like this. So, and then we got the double page spread of the wedding, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at a high res version of it right now on my laptop, on my computer, and it is
that one that's floating around that's been recolored a bit.
Oh, it has a bit. Okay, that tracks.
They've changed the gradients of the color.
Yeah, but regardless, it still looks like WC. Every Legionnaire who's ever existed, the subs, the Heroes of Lalor,
the Wanderers,
the Wanderers, the Tornado Twins, Tars Tarkus, and Martian Manhunter. It's the page. Is this the part you want to really talk about of Dave Cockrum?
Oh no! I think this is his best. This is this is the one that's a poster. This is the one that gets reprinted. This is the one every Legion fan pulls up. There are a couple. There's this one. There's a 2-page spread from 300. 300.
Yep.
There's Adventure Comics. Oh no! What is it? I like the double-page spreads Light did when the 5 new members joined Censor Girl.
Yep, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, the George Perez. It's not a double page. Oh yeah, no, but I'm thinking the one from a History of DC Universe.
Yep, that's another good one.
But this is and I remember reading this. Folks, this is one of my earliest stuff. It's great. It's dead center. They make it just. I had to fix a staple in that comic on and off for 20 years while I still had it. Because I just would read it over and over again.
So apparently the story I have heard is, and Ross, please correct me, is Dave Cockrum wanted this page back. DC editorial said no, we don't give back original art. This pissed him off, so he's like, fine, I quit, and he took who would become Nightcrawler with him over to trying to revive that failed X-Men book, and the rest is history.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's the way it worked. Everything was there.
Yeah. So good for Nightcrawler getting more exposure as part of the X-Men, but bad for Legion because we could have had. I don't even know if this character would have been similar, but at least that look.
It's such a good look, and
it makes more sense as part of the Legion than does the X-Men.
Yeah, it does. And I'm looking at the Legion. It's awfully white. That double-page spread is. There's some green people.
Yep.
And they even made the blue girl stay home.
They did, and we'll talk about Karate Kid next episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But then we find out, she passes out. Starfinger comes with the other one, and we have a flashback, which we would never do in a comic nowadays, of how she, it's not. We don't have all the clues. They don't point them out. Starfinger it's a terrible design. It's a terrible design. Because it's still very John Forte. Maybe Cockrum left it alone because he was just riffing on the Legion he read as a kid. I don't know.
I guess, but again, Greg LaRocque will do a cool Kirby dots kind of design with it, and but that takes until 1985 or something like that, 86.
And
some great Brainiac 5
he wants her power to divide into 2.
Yeah.
It's like you just needed a villain.
Yeah.
You just picked one of your recorded villains you hadn't used in a while. And Superboy's the other one in disguise. It's great. That's great stuff.
The Superboy review disguise, that's a little Silver Agey, but so much of the rest of this issue is so amazing that it's fine.
Yeah, it is. I just want to say this. I think this is where Legion makes a step. I mean, having him come in with art a few issues earlier definitely was a jump up in quality. Because the action stuff was terrible. It was really rough. The only issues I really, really liked were the 4 Tuska ones at the end. And that's just because I like George Tuska. Um,
Yep.
but I think there's a big shift here. There's going to be some new characters introduced in the next one that will be around for years, and they do it. And I think this is where it takes the next step toward Levitt's one and
Yep.
Jerry Conway's run, because Jerry Conway's run is pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good. There are blips in there, and I think we see this is like it's the 70s. We're going to change how we tell stories because it was about a couple, it was about a marriage. It wasn't overly groundbreaking. I felt a shift. I went, oh, we're taking that step now.
This is firmly Legion in the Bronze Age right here.
Yeah.
It's like we can debate if it started earlier, but here it's a Bronze Age book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it is because the type of storytelling's changing, and it's just great. I love it. I think it's probably one of the most important issues of Legion in a lot of ways. Just on top of the fact that it is fabulous and fun and beautiful. I mean, every issue that Cockrum drew is a keeper, man. We're almost. Are these the last ones?
I think these and the next two are the last Cockrum, and we've said it before, we'll say it again. DC editorial, you screwed up.
Yeah, but at least you get Grell,
you get Grell, who's again one of my favorites too. So it's like I don't get the Porsche, but I get the Mercedes or something like that.
Yeah, it's really with this people. That's why I always consider this the same. That this subset, this from the Bates Cockrum through the Grell, and some of the Grell stuff, Shooter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there is actually some Shooter and Bates I think jump back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, they take turns from story to
story.
And
then Levitt's one starts with that, and I can't remember if Levitt's is on with Grell at all. I can't remember.
I think he is a little
bit.
I think he's Sherman is. I think he starts with that.
Sherman? Okay.
I don't know. He could not have started with the Earth War. That would not that would not be a starting point. So I used to have this shit in my head, and then there was my 20s and 30s, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is a great comic. Yeah. What's your overall take on it?
Again, this is a 5 out of 5 star comic book for me. It's one of the keystone moments, not only of Bouncing Boy, but of the Legion as a whole. Every page is goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah,
and just like, folks, if you haven't read it, read it right now. This is honestly a pretty solid starting point for the Legion.
Oh yeah, you could pick that up and jump in.
You could pick this.
Yeah.
Yep. Just if you're looking for this is a go.
Yeah.
Just start with here and keep going and thank us later.
Yeah, it's so spot on. And I just think it was a night shift, and and the next two issue folks have 2 stories each. They're short ones, and we're going to do that in the next episode and we're going to do them pretty quickly. But this one had to be talked about because what we see specifically in the next issue, the first story in the next issue, is that building block of we're building a different Legion.
Yep.
We're building the Legion. We're going to lose Bouncing Boy and Duo Damsel, 2 kind of
Silver Agey characters.
Not great power sets.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to bring in new ones. Hey, Chemical King hasn't really caught on. When Shooter left the first time, Chemical King disappears. And I don't think anybody really knows how to use him because they kill him off pretty quickly.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people see it like, well, what's the difference between him and Element Lad? But that's a different discussion for another day.
Yeah, but the next one is that, we're going to see newer characters. Here's some 70s. And they do, we'll talk about it next issue. But this is one of my favorites. All right, folks. Well, that's our episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back relatively quickly. For you, it'll be a week. For me and Kirby, it'll be about a minute or two. And we'll be covering issues 201 and 202 of it's just Superboy, but on the cover it says Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. And we're going to say goodbye to Dave Cockrum. So, thank you again, Kirby.
Thank you, Ross, for being on this episode.
All right. And so, folks, as always, be smart, be safe, be kind to one another. And like Kirby said, read some Cockrum Legion. You will be glad you did. I remember doing it as a little kid.